Some people already know that they have high cholesterol, but they are not doing anything about it. My goodness. They don't care, And that's, again, they say that, oh, I forgot. Oh, those two things that the doctor is saying, I can't. This is the food that I like the most. I don't think I can change that. That's me. If I die, I die. There's something called the ratio. So the LDL and HDL ratio. We're just going to talk about that. And that will give us an understanding a little more about your risk and see if you can do something about your risk. So the ratio of LDL to HDL is a predictor of your cardiovascular risk or your heart disease or stroke risk. So basically what that means is that if you take the number of your LDL measurement and we divide it by the HDL measurement, when that number is given, the ratio, if you divide your LDL by the HDL amount, if that answer is low, then you have good cardiovascular health.
And if it's too high, then you know for sure that you have to do something with the numbers. So we see that the HDL is a denominator, right? It's the bottom one. And the LDL is the numerator, the top one. So in order to bring the number down, if we increase the HDL, because it's a denominator, because it's the one that is dividing the number on top, if it's high, then it means that the final answer is going to be low, right? And if it's low, then it means that your heart health is on point. So in order to tweak the numbers, you can work on increasing your HDL. By increasing your HDL, you are bringing down the number. And by decreasing the LDL, which is the numerator, you are bringing down the number.
All right. So we are using as an example, as Gifty explained, again, the ratio, the less number you get from the ratio, the better for you. That's the take home that she said. So let's take somebody whose first name begins with A. For A, their LDL cholesterol is 150. And then their HDL cholesterol is 50. If you divide the 150 by 50, you get an answer of 3. So that's the ratio. Now let's see for another person called B. So for Mr. B, same amount of LDL, which is also 150. But their HDL cholesterol is less. They have abnormal HDL because it is less and it's 30. So if you divide the 150 by the 30, you get 5. So the ratio has increased. And so if you are asked right off the bat, which one of these people, Mr. A or Mr. B, is most likely going to get a heart attack or a stroke, it is Mr. B. Come on, man. I hope you get the point. So that is how we want to make it as simple for you. So your LDL can stay the same, but if you can increase your HDL, then the answer for your ratio will be less. And if the ratio is less, then your heart disease or your stroke disease risk goes down. I hope that point is clear. Now let's do another one. That way it will even make more sense. So for these two people, they had the same LDL, but different HDL. And as we go forward in the season, we are going to talk about how to get both of these numbers down. And of course, you already know how to get them high, especially the LDL, because we know all the all the junk food we eat, right? Yeah, but we're going to show you how to get these numbers down.
Which numbers?
The LDL number down. Yes. Okay. Thank you for that. That is a good correction, man. Because we want to get the HDL up.
Yes.
We want to get the HDL up. So with these two people, same LDL, but the factor that made the difference is the HDL. HDL is smaller in Mr. B. So Mr. B is more likely to get a heart attack, a heart disease, or a stroke. Okay, so let's see another example. So in the same similar example, again, we want low ratio for good cardio health. All right. So what about Mr. A? Or let's use Mrs. for this time. Mrs. A. Mrs. A has LDL of 120, and then the HDL is 40. So their ratio is number 3. If you divide 120 by 40, you get 3. All right. And then, now since it's a Mrs., I'll give to talk about it.
And B has the LDL to be 200.
Wow.
And the HDL to be 40. HDL for both of them is the same, 40-40. But the difference here is the LDL. And because Mrs. B has high LDL, the answer is what? 5. That makes her higher risk of getting stroke and heart attack as compared to Miss
My
A.
goodness, my goodness. It is as clear as possible. I know it may not make that much sense, but these are the hard book work in these things. But just take it from us that you want your HDL to be high, your LDL to be low. The ratio will put itself up for you. You don't need to calculate anything. We just want to be complete, so we have to do the numbers. But yes, the key is that with the LDL being higher, this woman's heart disease or stroke risk has increased because the ratio is 5 instead of 3. Numbers by themselves are not the be all and all. It is good to know the numbers. For me, that's the beginning. But what you do with the numbers is what is important. Some people already know that they have high cholesterol, but they are not doing anything about it. My goodness. They don't care, And that's, again, they say that, oh, I forgot. Oh, those two things that the doctor is saying, I can't. This is the food that I like the most. I don't think I can change that. That's me. If I die, I die. Some people are like that. Some people have the numbers. So the numbers by themselves don't really make much sense. What makes much sense is to follow through and know what they mean for you. And so if you understand these things we have shown you, that is good. That's a good way to move from here. If you don't, watch the video over and over. And again, don't be caught in seeing how low your number become or how high it is. Just know if it is high, the things you have to do. And then watch and follow the dietary recommendations that we are going to show you, the exercise recommendations that we're going to show you in future videos, and then see them go down to be the right numbers.
One thing that I've realized here is that when you go to the hospital and they do the blood work, maybe the doctor will order blood work for you, right? You go and you get your blood work done. Sometimes they don't really go over the numbers with you. It just stay in your chart and it stays there. But the good news is, like, nowadays most of the hospital will give you a code that you can access your information. So, like, we are encouraging people to do their annuals, take care of yourself, know your numbers and all that. When you go and the doctor order lab work for you, it's your duty to follow up with the numbers. If nobody called you, maybe they are too busy, or maybe you are at the borderline, or maybe you are not there yet. So they don't feel like it's an emergency, and they don't follow up and they don't follow through. So if you want to know your numbers, you are paying for the cost. You go to the hospital, they bill your insurance, you do the co-pay. So you have rights to your information. You have to know your numbers. It will be your desire to do something about it. So it's good to know, but you have to put an action to it so that it becomes useful to you.
My goodness. All right. We say, Beloved, we wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Thanks for watching. Stay blessed.